What if one of the biggest names in rap music was secretly orchestrating a revenge plot so intense it sounded like a movie script? But prosecutors say it's all real. Lil Durk, a chart-topping artist with millions of fans, now finds himself at the center of a chilling murder-for-hire case that's shaking the entire hip-hop world. The feds aren't just accusing him of being a rapper with a rough past. They're calling him the leader of a violent crew that moves like a street-level army. And it all goes back to a single night at a gas station in Los Angeles, when gunfire lit up the air and a life was taken. But according to investigators, that wasn't just a random shooting. It was a calculated hit, allegedly ordered by Durk himself. From cryptic lyrics that might have doubled as confessions, to street ties that never really faded, this story has everything. Betrayal, retaliation, and a rap legacy on the edge of collapse. But before we get to the federal charges, the deadly ambush, or the rumors linking Durk to one of rap's most public feuds, we need to go back to where it all started, deep in the streets of Chicago. The rise of Lil Durk, from survival to stardom. Before the headlines, before the millions of streams, Lil Durk was just Durk Banks, a kid growing up in the heart of Southside Chicago, where survival was a daily mission. With his father serving a life sentence and the streets offering few safe choices, Durk turned to music not just as an outlet, but as a lifeline. That's where only the family OTF comes in. What started as a rap collective quickly became something much more. In a city known for drill music and street politics, OTF represented both family and firepower. It was Durk's brand, his brotherhood, and according to federal prosecutors, his alleged army. As his fame grew, so did his reach. Collaborations with artists like Lil Baby, Drake, and Polo G launched him into mainstream success. But even with Billboard hits and sold-out tours, Durk never fully stepped away from the life that raised him. Instead, he brought it with him, through his lyrics, his loyalty, and his crew. To fans, Durk was just keeping it real. To authorities, they say he was still calling shots. But the tipping point wasn't just about fame, it was about family. And when one of Durk's closest friends was taken from him, everything changed.
King Von's death, the spark that lit the fire. King Von wasn't just another artist on the rise. He was Lil Durk's protege, a street storyteller with raw talent and real-life ties to the world he rapped about. Signed under OTF, Von wasn't just family in the industry, he was family in the trenches. The bond between him and Durk ran deep, built on loyalty, survival, and shared scars. But that bond was shattered on November 6, 2020. That night in Atlanta, outside a hookah lounge, King Von got into a heated altercation with rival rapper Quando Rondo. What started as fists quickly turned fatal. Shots rang out. Von was hit multiple times. He died just hours later at the hospital. The fallout was instant. Fans were furious. The internet exploded, and the streets started whispering. Durk, devastated, stayed quiet, but his silence only fueled the speculation. While no official charges ever linked Rondo to Von's killing, the connection was clear, and in the court of public opinion, revenge felt inevitable. Music videos, tweets, subliminal messages, all of it started to carry a darker tone. OTF looked ready for war, and Durk, he started rapping like a man who'd lost everything. But if prosecutors are to be believed, the emotions didn't stop at the booth. They say a plan was already in motion, because nearly 2 years later, in the heart of Los Angeles, the streets would erupt again, this time with Durk allegedly pulling the strings from behind the scenes. 3. The gas station ambush, what really happened in LA.
August 19th, 2022.
A seemingly ordinary night in Los Angeles turned deadly within seconds. According to the federal complaint, members of Lil Durk's OTF collective were on a mission, and their target was clear: Lil Pab, the cousin of Quando Rondo. Prosecutors allege that multiple OTF affiliates used 2 separate vehicles to track and stalk him, eventually cornering him at a gas station. Surveillance footage captured what appeared to be a coordinated hit. Shots were fired. Chaos erupted. Lil Pap was fatally struck. Rondo, visibly shaken, reportedly collapsed at the scene, but he survived. To the public, it looked like another tragic chapter in a long list of senseless street violence. But to federal investigators, It was something much more chilling, a carefully planned act of revenge allegedly ordered from the top. They claimed Durk had put out a monetary bounty, an actual price on Lil Pab's head. The motive? Retaliation tied directly to Von's death and the festering feud between OTF and Quando Rondo's camp. And while Durk wasn't anywhere near the scene, the feds believed the blueprint was his. This wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment attack. Prosecutors say it was strategic, intentional, and funded, designed to send a message: no one crosses OTF without consequences. But the plot would begin to unravel soon after. And what came next had Durk's legal team scrambling to control the narrative. 4. Lyrics as evidence. The feds say he told on himself. It's a debate that's haunted hip-hop for years. When rappers talk about violence in their lyrics, is it storytelling or self-snitching? In Lil Durk's case, prosecutors are leaning hard on the latter. According to the feds, Durk may have unknowingly handed them ammo through his own music. In the official complaint, they claim he bragged about the alleged ambush in a track. Lyrics that describe stalking a target, coordinating with shooters, and celebrating revenge were flagged as possible admissions, tied directly to the gas station attack. But here's where it gets murky. Durk's legal team fired back, saying the song was recorded 7 months before the shooting ever happened. And not only that, the version cited by prosecutors, a modified, remixed version uploaded to YouTube by someone else. Durk's lawyers argue he had no connection to that release. So, are the lyrics just aggressive bars? Or are they coded confessions? That's the million-dollar question, and it's one that could make or break the entire case. The court's decision on whether these lines count as evidence could set a major precedent for how rap lyrics are treated in criminal trials. But regardless of how the music is interpreted, prosecutors believe they have something even stronger: motive, coordination, and witnesses willing to talk. And that's when the story turns from music to murder for hire, because what the government is alleging goes far beyond a rap beef. 5. The murder for hire case. What prosecutors are claiming. This isn't just a standard shooting case. Prosecutors say it's something far more calculated, a murder for hire plot with Lil Durk pulling the strings. According to the federal complaint, Durk didn't just want revenge, he allegedly put a price on it. A monetary bounty was offered for the life of Lil Pab, a man tied to the same camp as Quando Rondo. The feds say this wasn't some random outburst of violence. It was a premeditated operation carried out by loyal members of OTF. The allegations go deep: conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death. That's federal territory. That means wiretaps, surveillance, and possibly even insiders flipping for lighter sentences. Durk isn't the only one in the crosshairs. He's one of 5 alleged co-conspirators. But here's what really raises eyebrows: the precision of the alleged attack. Prosecutors claim it was organized, that vehicles were coordinated, and targets were tracked. This wasn't some chaotic shootout. It was a planned hit, executed with intention. And in the government's eyes, the architect was Durk. The scary part? A conviction on a charge like this could carry life-changing consequences. We're talking decades behind bars, or worse. And for a while, some believe Durk might even face the harshest penalty of all: the death penalty decision. What prosecutors chose not to do. For months, whispers circled online. Would prosecutors actually push for the death penalty in Lil Durk's case? With charges this serious, murder for hire, conspiracy, and a killing tied to gang activity, it was a possibility. The feds had enough ammunition to pursue the most extreme sentence available. But in a surprising move, they made their stance clear. They won't seek the death penalty. That decision caught some off guard. It signaled that while they're treating this case as deadly serious, they're not aiming for Durk's execution. Still, that doesn't mean the rapper is off the hook. He's still facing charges that could lock him away for life. So why back off the death penalty? Legal experts believe it might be a strategic move, keeping the case more streamlined, avoiding the added legal battles that come with capital punishment. Or it could mean prosecutors are confident they can secure a conviction without the extra pressure of a death sentence. Either way, the stakes remain sky high. The government still alleges Durk orchestrated a targeted killing for revenge. And while he won't be facing execution, the rest of his life still hangs in the balance. But now his legal team is fighting back, and their next move could change everything. Chapter 22. 7. The defense responds. A case of misleading the jury? Lil Durk's legal team isn't staying silent, and now they're swinging back hard. In April, Durk's attorneys filed a motion to dismiss the entire murder-for-hire case, claiming prosecutors misled the grand jury. According to them, one of the government's biggest claims, that Durk bragged about the hit in a song, is based on a timeline that doesn't add up. The defense says the song in question was recorded 7 months before the shooting, which means there's no way it could have been about the incident. And even more damning, they argue the version cited by prosecutors wasn't even released by Durk. It was a modified remix, uploaded online by someone else. To them, it's not evidence, it's misinformation. That's a serious accusation. If proven, it could undermine a key part of the prosecution's case and raise doubts about the entire investigation. But the legal team didn't stop there. They started poking holes in the broader narrative too, questioning the credibility of informants, the way evidence was gathered, and even the language used in the criminal complaint. Their message is clear. This case is built on shaky ground, and they want it thrown out before it ever reaches trial. Still, with the feds this deep in, dismissals like that aren't easy to win. But the fight's far from over. And the courtroom isn't the only place this battle's playing out. Because for Lil Durk, the pressure isn't just legal, it's personal. And now fans are watching for his next move, are watching to college. But now his legal team is fighting back, and their next move could change everything. 8. Public pressure and private consequences. What's next for Durk? As the legal case drags on, the courtroom isn't the only place Lil Durk is feeling the heat. Social media has been a war zone of opinions. Some fans rallying behind him, calling it another example of the system targeting black artists. Others, less sympathetic, point to his lyrics and past beefs as signs of a pattern finally catching up. Either way, the public eye is relentless, and Durk knows it. What's more, the rap industry hasn't exactly stood still. As Durk battles serious federal charges, artists he once collaborated with are treading carefully. Labels and sponsors are staying quiet. And Durk himself? He's gone noticeably low profile, a stark contrast to the high-energy, outspoken figure fans knew just a year ago. Behind the scenes, it's likely even heavier. For someone who's openly rapped about trauma, betrayal, and survival, this moment is more than just another case. It's a direct challenge to everything he's built. His name, his crew, his freedom, they're all on the line. And now that prosecutors have made it clear this isn't just about a shooting, but a coordinated hit, the stakes couldn't be higher. Durk has faced trials before: poverty, violence, loss. But this could define the rest of his life. What happens next could either be the ultimate comeback or the final chapter. Lil Durk has always walked a razor's edge between fame and the streets, pain and power, loyalty and survival. But now he's facing a crossroads that could change everything. Federal prosecutors are accusing him of masterminding a revenge plot that ended in bloodshed. His legal team is firing back, claiming the entire case is built on weak evidence and manipulated timelines. The public, split between belief and doubt, support and scrutiny. This isn't just a celebrity scandal. It's a rare moment where rap culture, street politics, and the federal justice system all collide, with one man standing at the center. Whether Durk walks free or loses it all, one thing's certain: the outcome will ripple far beyond a courtroom. It'll impact a fan base, a city, and maybe even reshape how the world views the blurred line between storytelling in hip-hop and the lives that inspire it. And as the case continues to unfold, there's only one question left. Is this the downfall of Lil Durk, or just the beginning of his most shocking chapter yet?